Hello again and welcome to the JC La Liga YouTube channel. Now it's Sunday's La Liga previews, round one of the 2017 and 18 season, of which I'm going to discuss and give you a betting tip for. However, the first game is Athletic Bilbao against Getafe. Now, Athletic Bilbao are actually playing in the Europa League as I speak, as I record this, so I don't want to do a bet in their game just yet. I do have Sunday as a day off, so I can always do a Periscope for that one. Now, Barcelona versus Real Betis is the next game up. Now, of course, you have seen Barcelona in the Spanish Supercopa games, where they've been very, very poor. They're missing Neymar, they lack cohesion. They've even played two up front instead of a usual three. In the second game of the Supercup, that's what they started with. And there's a divide between the players and the board. They're certainly not on the same page. I've described all the Neymar stuff before. And the signings aren't coming in just yet. I mean, Paulinho is one of the signings, not really inspiring. Of course, he's been a very good player at Corinthians. He's still a good player for the Brazilian national team, but really a bit of a flop at Tottenham Hotspur. Then spent a couple of years in China, and now he costs 40 million euros. I mean, it's just a desperation signing, and as I've said before, Barcelona are going to be held to ransom. So there's two ways of looking at this game against Betis, and just before I do, I must mention Betis now have the ex-Las Palmas coach from last season as a manager, Serra Ferrer, who's twice been the Betis manager and was at the club, and they had a very successful periods with Alfonso Perez playing there. He's back in, so Betis look to be on the up for my money. They've made some good signings, and I think they should have a decent season. So there are two ways, like I say, of looking at this. Number one is it gets worse before it gets better. Barcelona's players are depleted of confidence. Again, there's a lack of cohesion. Suarez is going to be out for a month. There's no replacement for Neymar. So now we only have Messi as a recognised striker from the front three. They've got Deulofeu, who's a bit of a headless chicken, perhaps a desperation move in bringing him back. Very skillful player. But of course, they've still got players from midfield who can score goals. But Betis, with an Asian handicap start, was starting to look like a good bet. Even maybe Betis or draw. I was actually going to go for Betis or draw at 11-2. These prices as a small bet and another main bet with goals related. But with Suarez being out, Barca looking bad, everything's changed now. Now, the Betis handicap has been hammered in. I think it opened at 2.75 and now it's +2 Asian handicap. And the win price has gone down as well. So, obviously you can understand why people are betting on that. The trouble is now, and again, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I have to factor these things in. Today, we've had terrorist attacks in Barcelona. So their game this weekend against Real Betis means it's going to be a packed house in Camp Nou. It's going to be very emotional scenes. And that team's going to have to go out and win for their crowd, for their city, for their people, which changes everything. It absolutely changes everything. The downside, like I say, they haven't got much up front at the moment with just Messi. So it's either that or Betis spring an upset. The chances of Betis springing an upset have now been vastly reduced because Barca needs to win after these diabolical performances against Real Madrid and what we've just mentioned. So everything up in the air now, and the bet in this game, my recommendation is Barcelona to win and both teams to score at a 13-8 price. Again, Ruben Castro generally notches the goals for Betis in these games. Top boy, I've always bet him anytime scoring a big game. Scored a brace against Barca last year. He's now on loan to a Chinese club for mega bucks. He's 35, 36 years of age, great servant to the club. I've no problem with that. Look, Betis thought, give him an opportunity to make a lot of money. He's not played for any of the big teams. So, fair enough. Other players can score for Betis. He's not the only player to have scored at Camp Nou. So I do think that Betis can get a goal here. Stuff like over 4.5 goals is quite an inflated price. I think that will come in 13-5. If it was a Messi, Neymar, Suarez combination, none of this crisis stuff, if they hadn't been so bad against Real Madrid, I'm telling you that would be even money at best. Maybe 6-5 at best. So 13-5 is quite a generous price for over 4.5 goals. And whilst I think there's a bit of value to be snaffled in that, particularly now because people are going to generally think about this and they're going to think, oh, now Barca, they have to win. Diabolical performance against Madrid, terrorist attacks, they've got to win. So the price will go down, but again, you're missing Suarez and Neymar's gone. So I think most likely is maybe Betis take the lead, and then the headline is Barca secure, emotional, come from behind win. And that's my angle. So that's a bet for that one. Now the next game and the final game of Sunday is Deportivo La Coruna against Real Madrid. Now, depending on how old you are or indeed how good your knowledge of Spanish football is, this was a very bad matchup for Real Madrid at the Riazor. Only at the Riazor, not at the Bernabeu, but at the Riazor, this was a bad matchup for, 8, 9, 10 years, a long time. We're talking in the days, stuff like when they had Jalminia, Roy Mackay, Diego Tristan, those kind of players. I mean, even Deportivo and Bebeto got some good results against Real Madrid. They really should have won the league one year, but they didn't. They missed a penalty. Who was it? Jukic, I think, missed the penalty for Deportivo. Later played for Valencia. That was about 94, 95, something like that. Anyway, since then, however, since maybe, I don't know, 2009, 10, something like that. So I'm probably stretching from the late 90s to the late noughties, if you like. After that period anyway, sorry, is what I'm babbling to say. So let's say, at a guess, from 2009 onwards, Real Madrid away to Deportivo get destroyed. So that bogey sort of ground thing is totally out the window. We know Real Madrid are super impressive. They look like the best team in world football right now. Against Barca, they toyed with them, they really did. And other players that are going to feature this weekend were rested. Casemiro, Isco, we know Ronaldo's banned. So Real Madrid, confidence through the roof, flying high. So totally expect Real Madrid to win this game. However, Deportivo have still got a couple of good players, Florian Andoni, etc. Pepe Mel's a coach. He's engineered wins against Real Madrid before. Deportivo might just be able to notch a goal. So anyway, I'd like Real Madrid half-time, full-time, but they did play midweek. It's too early to talk about burnout, that said. So I'm not messing with the handicaps, but I think Real Madrid definitely wins, and I think Real Madrid to win and over 2.5 goals is the best bet. That's a 4 to 5 price. So that's my tip and recommendation. Real Madrid to win and over 2.5 goals. And should Deportivo then notch one, then Real Madrid would need to score 2 to win. So otherwise, if you want something a little bit chancy, and to be honest, this was going to be the pick, but I'm just so focused. Real Madrid just looks so good. You think, I don't want to risk it if they win 3 or 4 or 5-0 or something. Then, we're covered with the over 2.5 goals. If we win 2-0, then we get burned. That's what it is. It's a long season. I'll come to what best recommendations I can based on the prices, the information, and my ways of doing things. And we'll move on. But if you want something slightly chancier, then Real Madrid to win and both teams to score is available at a 7 to 4 price. So a secondary recommendation for you there. And so that's basically it. So again, I'll come back to you with regards to Athletic Bilbao and Getafe on Sunday. I'll do a Periscope, let's say. Periscope in the sunshine on Sunday. Better background on this. I'm afraid you've got to see the draws, a Weetabix free advert for you there, my washing powder, all that crap, because the oven's heating up for my pizza. So got to be done this time too. Get bitten by mosquitoes at this time of night now. It's only 9:30. It's more or less dark now. But again, it's mosquito time, and before it was a bit too loud. So background apologies, but that's it. To recap, Athletic Bilbao, sorry, I've just said about that, haven't I? Barca Betis, both teams to score and over, Barcelona to win and both teams to score. I'm tired now. At 13 to 8 is a price, and that'll probably go in a little bit. Barca secures emotional comeback win in front of home crowd. That's the headline. Kind of ruined the Betis or draw. I was actually going to go for Betis or draw as a secondary bet. Anyway, and then Real Madrid to win and over 2.5 goals as a main bet. If you want something a bit chance of Real Madrid to win and both teams to score at 7 to 4. That's basically it. I'll come back with a little betting preview for Monday's games. And that's it. So good luck. Thank you for viewing. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.